So I do motor control experiments, which means motor, when you're a neuroscientist, means how we move, right? So I'm standing up here moving in a motoric fashion. So a kind of classic experiment that people do is this reaching experiment that we do in the lab. So a person sits down and they put their hand on something and reach over and tap the target. So here they reach over and they tap, so they get 5 points for hitting the green one, minus 10 for hitting the red one, so everybody just hits the middle of the green one, no problem. And then the idea of this, though, is that there's some error when you reach, right? So when you reach, you don't actually hit the spot you're aiming for, you hit some little circle around it. And it turns out that you know what that error is, even though you don't know that you know what that error is, right? So so we can move this penalty closer, and when we move the penalty closer, we can predictably move the endpoints over. Right? So this is a nice little motor task. It's kind of like walking on the edge of a street. It's the same idea, right? You don't walk right on the curb, because even though you'll almost surely not fall, if you do fall, you want to make sure you don't fall and end up in the middle of traffic in New York, especially. So the idea here was to take this and put it in VR and make it a little more fun. It's kind of self-explanatory.
So yeah, what we're doing here is using this idea to test how immersive the VR experience actually is for the person. So what we do is we started off, and we set this up as kind of a research test. We start this off where the user is shooting at this target, and if they hit it, they get a point, for example, with no one around. But then what happens if we actually put another human being, virtually of course, next to that target? Does their shots actually stay in the same place, hitting the target every time, or does it start to move away from the person? Even though that there's no real penalty to hitting that, shooting that person, the only penalty is their perception of that other human being now in this virtual environment with them. So we can use the offset of potential offset of their firing to determine how immersed they actually feel, how believable they feel that this environment is to them. So again, we set this up kind of as a research question. Does the addition of this human being in the virtual environment actually affect their aim? Do they shy away from firing at this this human being who's actually moving around? And if so, we can conclude that they themselves are imputing this, applying this penalty to the situation. They potentially don't want to shoot their friend. So we built this in a very lovely environment by our lovely artists. So we try to, again, test how immersed that player feels in the environment. And I believe that is time. Immersion.